Well, welcome back, everyone. Can I just quickly check if you can all hear me okay? Yeah, good? Okay. I certainly hope that you had some nice bites and coffees and some refreshments and some nice networking opportunities as well. I could only echo the previously talking people, how exciting it is, of course, to be organizing the first TfS event like this. But I must be also quite honest with you. I had a little bit of a selfish reason for it as well. I've been with Lean Library for 5 years, which only matters in the context of I've been able to meet some of the colleagues from various UK universities for the first time in person after having been working for 5 years. Well, let's just hope that it doesn't take another 5 years to make this happen again. I'm Daniel Horvath, Product Director of Technology from Sage. I'm going to be talking about, extending some of Matt's thoughts on the product vision, what we have been all working on, of course, at TfS. And it's, generally speaking, just going to be a quick and quite broad overview of the technology from Sage product strategy. Before actually diving into that, I've got a quick announcement to make. There is, of course, you might have seen it, a product desk represented in, in the back on the first floor. We do invite you to please come and drop by to our desk, not only to just have the opportunity to chat, but also because we've planned a little bit of an exercise. So you will be able to, of course, give all kinds of feedback about any of our products. We will categorize them over the night. And tomorrow, the second part of this exercise is going to be prioritizing it. Well, it is the most difficult part, I think, in product development, so hopefully you're going to be part of this and experience it as well yourself. Right, the agenda today is quite broad. We'll start on the technology from Sage kind of initiatives, a little bit of background history, how this all ended up within this business portfolio created by Sage, of course. Then we'll talk a little bit about the opportunities that I and the team are seeing in this new umbrella. And also, whilst keeping this short talk today on a high level, we'll also mention a few product-specific updates at the end of it. Well, I started from my perspective in 2018. I started Lean Library back then. That was also the year when Thalys and Lean Library joined Sage. And last year, we welcomed the newcomer Syville, of course, for which we are very, very happy to have joined. And technology from Sage essentially was formed on the basis of these three businesses. Hopefully, this slide, which I really, really personally like, will give you a little bit of an insight as to why these specific businesses were brought together and what was the reason why we do believe that the products maintained by these businesses make sense to be brought together. But I do believe this visualization showcases really well not only our purpose and the purpose that Matt also mentioned, of course, where the student and the library is our main focus. We want to make sure that we can support you and your patrons as much as possible. But also it showcases an overly simplified research process or the patron workflow, at least the way we see it. It connects the products into certain specific steps, which I think visualizes again quite well. And not only that, but it also showcases the opportunity, at least part of the long-term opportunity that we do believe in this. Putting these businesses and these products next to each other will, and already are providing, such a good opportunity where taking a bit more closer integrations between the products, making this research flow even more smooth and even more seamless. And not only that, but also being able to provide a centralized kind of insight that we certainly are working on in the long term, and would like to also chat a little bit more about that. We'll also touch upon that, but hopefully it gives you a little bit of an insight as to why we've ended up here. I see the product opportunities, generally speaking, in two categories. There are the obvious product integrations. We're going to touch upon two that we are going to be working on soon enough, specifically between Syville and Lean Library, and then Aspire and Lean Library. But there are other opportunities as well that actually, the more we see them, the more valuable we tend to value them as well. And those are the kind of opportunities that happen under the hoods. So I mean, quite specifically, centralizing services that are happening in all businesses, all products currently, making them a centralized service, for example, scrapers or databases, will most certainly help maintainability and performance across all the boards. Building on top of that, we are thinking and considering building an OER database. We're going to get back to it later. And also a DEI database as well. I really did like the term co-create, as it was mentioned previously. It is something that we find important as well, and would like to get more closely into that as well. And last but not least, of course, the disaggregated user profile that I sort of touched upon with regards of the patron being the center of the workflow and the products being around and following the patron in that workflow is certainly something that we are looking into quite seriously. The first integration that I meant to show is between Cybele and Lean Library. Now, Cybele, of course, is an annotation and reference and citation management tool. And as Matt mentioned as well, with Lean Library, we have been looking into integrations that take other services from the library into the patron workflow, like the reference management is an obvious one as well. And so what you can see here is actually, I need to highlight that it is a very early kind of mock-up at this point, but it could look something like this. And it's a little bit of a sneak peek as well, by the way, on the updated and completely redesigned Lean Library extension as well. So on this screenshot, what you can see is how we believe we would be able to make it available, that references can be stored into projects or folders, or how the social annotation tools could look like as well. Another integration that we are actually currently working on as we speak is between Aspire and Lean Library. I like to put this in a perspective because it also is another advantage and another kind of category that I didn't quite mention in the previous slide. But a huge opportunity is the extensive experience and knowledge that the separate individual teams have brought up over the time. Bringing all that knowledge and experience together is certainly a good example for this one. We've just integrated all the discovery integrations into Lean Library Futures over the last 2 years, and the same technology is going to be implemented into Aspire, although in a little bit of a different context. So in this screenshot, what you can see is how within the Thales Aspire environment, we're going to make it possible that you can straight away take content from your library's holdings and can just be straight added into any of your reading lists. The first iteration is going to support 3 discoveries, Primo, EDS, and WordCat. With further iterations, we're going to be adding even more endpoints to it. Another aspiration between Aspire and Lean Library is actually something that the Aspire extension at this moment already does. But when we think about in a situation where you or your users are using or utilizing multiple products from our product portfolio, we certainly want to make sure that you wouldn't have to use 2 different extensions to use certain functionalities from 2 or more products at the same time. So in this case, what we are showing is how, through the Lean Library extension, you would be able to add in the open web any content into your reading list as well. I wanted to expand a little bit on the shared services opportunities. Again, centralizing things and logic that exist in multiple places is, well, not quite optimal. Bringing them all centralizing is quite optimal. It results in higher efficiency, it results in better maintainability, faster development, and it's only good. Of course, it's quite a bit of work, but I do believe that it's very much worth it. And some of the examples that I also kind of mentioned is, for example, scrapers that are existing in multiple extensions at this very moment as well. And bringing all those logic together, again, bringing all those previously existing and built knowledge and experience in those respective extensions is going to let us being able to make an enhanced scraper, a centralized scraper. or the databases that we are taking with high priority with regards to strategy as well. We use metadata to identify content in the open web. We use, of course, that's from Crossref. We use quite a bit of open access data in various parts of various products as well. Those are, of course, on Paywall Core and other repositories. Last year, Matt and I, we've conducted a fairly in-depth listening exercise. And listening the talks again today, and having had quite a few other discussions since last year, it only led us to believe that our thinking around OER and DEI is correct. It's going to be increasingly important for you and your libraries. You can see a few of the quotes that some librarians have said that we talked to. And again, we just generally speaking want to also support your library goals and strategy goals as well, wherever we can. So we do believe in OER and DEI, so that's something that I wanted to also talk a little bit about. Open educational resources, I mean, there are multiple reasons why universities tend to focus on it more and more. Some of them, of course, are on the screen, so cost saving, customizability. The psychology behind it, anyway, seems to be resonating very well on higher education and other academic levels as well. And so, as mentioned, we've started centralizing the databases under TfS last year. It originates from open access data as of now, so we've added together metadata and then the open access. But we do look at this database as the foundation for a more expanded and more built out OER database for the future. For this, I'd certainly hope that I could get the chance to talk with some of you, because it seems that OER databases and repositories are fairly fragmented at this moment. There seem to be regional initiatives in many cases. There seem to be institutional initiatives, and there even seem to be continental initiatives. So I've added a few that seem to be very strong propositions, but we would want to take it in a way, especially development. It's going to take us a little bit of time before this database can be extended. We would love to hear what you think, which repositories are the most important for you and for your institutions, so that we could take it into consideration with development. And of course, the end goal with all of this is to integrate these data sets back into various products in our product portfolio. So a convenient idea, of course, is to being able to add it into any of the reading lists in Aspire, or to make it discoverable through the Lean Library extension. The reasons why DEI initiatives are more and more important are slightly different, of course, from OER, but we do recognize the strategy significance on this. The same database that I just mentioned for OER, we intend to build out in a very similar way into supporting DEI initiatives. And we do believe that these promote fairness, respect for underrepresented backgrounds. And not only that, but it very much also builds upon the mission and the values of SAGE, of course, the mothership, as I sometimes like to call it. I've added the link to their to the website there. Have a look. And many of you, and you might have seen it in the quotes as well, it's been mentioned many, many times to decolonize the curriculum. We do want to be part of that, at least when it comes to being able to support you with alternative research content to be taken into consideration. And again, co-create, to move to a more student-centered approach when it comes to maintaining holdings, etc. And at the end of it, we want to also integrate it back to various products in the product portfolio. For example, an idea how we could think this working in TALIS Aspire is by making sure that within the reading lists, either alternative viewpoints can be suggested, or the state of those paper can be also made visible there. The disambiguated user profiles is in very early stage at this point. So I mentioned it for the previous catch-ups, but this is especially true for this one. I do believe that we are already thinking along three disciplines when it comes to categorizations of the overviews and the information that we want to feed back to you. The real value in this, in my perspective, will be moving away from just the strictly spoken engagement statistics, which are already kind of available for all of the products that showcases how the products are being used, with what frequency, how users, etc. I do believe that we are going to be able to take it to a little bit of a higher level that you can see in the provisioning section, where we want to provide more meaningful data apart from just how often a feature is being used. We want to make sure that we are able to provide, for example, information how much time and money have been saved with various products. We want to be able to show you, hey, this is your holdings. We are able to map it against open access content. How much of your holdings is represented in otherwise open access repositories as well. And also, last but not least, information about how these contents are being used by your students or your academics, researchers, which otherwise can be quite tricky, I believe, to be combined into one single statistical truth. And for compliance, of course, kind of overview with regards to the courses and the connected reading lists, and well, call to action links, how you could straight away create a reading list to all of those courses for which that hasn't been done before. So this has been a kind of high-level technology from Sage angle. I wanted to tell a little bit about Lean Library and the plans for 2023. You might have heard it, and we actually just had the first demo last week about it, but we have been working behind the curtains for over a year and by now to completely redesign and rework the extension part of Lean Library. We've done it for multiple reasons, but the three most important ones have been to improve on accessibility. We do believe that when we design a new functionality, that needs to be considered straight away, especially having seen how accessibility is increasingly important in various parts of, in various regions. We've designed it with performance in mind as well. It's using the latest technologies and frameworks. It's really, really snappy at this point. And generally speaking, UX. We've rethought the UX and how the features, generally speaking, most features have been rethought. Some with smaller changes and some with slightly bigger changes. But we've just wanted to take all the feedback from the past 5 years into this new version of the extension. Another thing that's going to come, that we're going to get to this year, also for which I'm personally really, really excited for, and I really hope that many of you will, because I have been hearing these feedback and feature requests for multiple years, and that's generally speaking enhancements around our core functionality, the alternatives. We're adding 3 improvements to it. First of all, support for print holdings, something that's been missing. We have been only able to support digital content until now. We're going to add ebook alternatives for open access as well. It has been also missing until now. We have been able to support subscribed ebooks. And by the way, this content is also going to be added into this central database that I just mentioned previously. And also going to add ebook support for ebook ILL or DDS, something that has been sort of supported until now, at least on a chapter level, but not on a whole book level. We're working on CVR reports, more when I refer to the kind of information, how much time and how much money has been saved by your users, very much thinking along those lines, but also considering the top 10 most used publisher sites, the top 10 most used journals, so feeding back all those information into the stats dashboard within Lean Library. And something that we've been thinking for a while, introducing user groups into Lean Library. It's not going to be mandatory, but it certainly is going to make it possible that we can provide more gradual, more broken down statistics and overviews, how the product is being used within your institution for different target or group audiences. So, for example, well, I just mentioned the top 10 most frequently used journals by the students or by the academics, which hopefully is going to feed back again to your licensing decisions in the future. For TfS Aspire, we've been having a busy few months as well. We are working along two lines at the moment. We are working through some of the customer-driven enhancements, or sort of sometimes referred as quick wins. We've had a customer backlog that we are now categorizing completely and decide what we can do fairly quickly now. That represents a huge amount of improvement in the product experience. I've added a few examples that we've already done for this, so just integrated open access content into Aspire, something that will be then now extended with content from the holdings. We've done enhancements to reviews where now the student and librarian notes can be edited. We've improved the review section where comments are now added as well. We've added a jump to top button to very, very long lists where it might have been sometimes a little bit annoying to scroll all the way to the top of the page. We are working on accessibility improvements together with the Michigan University. And we are going to be working on the importance tag and adding a little bit of an enhancement to it. And for that, we've already prepared some SketchUps, and we'd love to hear your thoughts about them as well at the product desk. But generally speaking, the idea behind it is that we are going to be able to make it now possible that then the importance tag is either mandatory, can be set mandatorily or not. Now, the other kinds of development for Aspire that sometimes are more time-consuming, but for the reason that we're also changing underlying technologies and frameworks as part of that work as well. Which is very beneficial for the long term, of course. But one of the examples that I just mentioned is kind of the discovery integrations, connecting to the discoveries and the holdings. And the other one, the other big section is going to be for this year is the reviews and acquisitions as well. We're going to be conducting discoveries on this very soon now, and so we're going to be reaching out to you as well just to see what your thoughts are about that. This was kind of, again, just a very, very high-level overview. And we do have a few minutes there, so I was wondering if there was any questions with regards of anything that we just spoke now.
Was it on now?
Yeah.
Obviously, you spoke about a lot of the integrations, but you didn't mention anything there about any sort of integrations between TfS Aspire and TfS Elevate, and that would be something I'm really keen to sort of see, because at the moment I don't feel like the two work that well together, and it's hard to promote both.
No, absolutely. Well, there's much more ideas, of course, than what we had time with this very limited discussion today. We are very much looking into the possibility of integrating at least some functionality from Aspire into, from Elevate into Aspire. So that's certainly the lines along which we are thinking of. I think, well, part of the reason why I also didn't mention it now is that it does seem that it might be a priority only for next year, potentially the beginning of next year. But it does not mean that we haven't thought of. So of course, when I mean basic functionalities of Elevate is being able to annotate, generally speaking, content in the reading list as well. That might be familiar from other products as well. Let's do this.
This way. It's going to hurt somebody. No, I've changed my mind. No, I'm kidding. Can you just unpack what ebook ILL is?
Well, some institutions seem to support ILL or DDS for ebooks and not only for journal articles. So either content sharing or on behalf of student requests, purchasing or even renting certain content. That's the functionality that we are expanding within Lean Library now to be supported for books.
So these are ebooks that are in copyright but are being shared between institutions?
Exactly.
Okay, all right, thank you. No. It's mine.
I've heard some discussion that there might be some further integrations between Thales Aspire and OCLC in terms of acquisitions between the two. Is there any further word or developments on that?
Well, we have lots of ideas. For the exact details, I'll probably have to bring you together with Scott. He's our expert. He has been looking into the technology. Do you actually want to? Yeah.
Sorry to put you on the spot, Scott.
Hello? Yeah. Great. So, yes, we're working with OCLC to do an integration with the acquisitions particularly. So you'll be able to, in your review section in Aspire, you'll be able to add items that you want to buy from Gobi, wherever you're choosing them from. And then you effectively push those into straight into OCLC acquisitions. So you'll be able to do purchasing from there. So from reviews into OCLC acquisitions. That's being worked on at the moment and probably will be coming out end of July, beginning of August.
Amazing, thank you.
Thank you, Scott. If there are no more questions, I think we couldn't be more precise than this. It's 12 o'clock straight. So next up is Xiao. Thank you so much for your time.